Kagiso, how's it going?
It goes well, Saya. How are you doing? This fine
I'm
December,
good.
this hot, fine December.
It's good to see you. And it must be feeling even extra hot to be in one of the biggest movie productions of all time.
Yeah. I mean, you can't imagine it. It's unbelievable. I walk around the whole time introducing myself as the guy in the biggest movie productions of all time. They don't care. They're like, "But are you paying for the parking or not, chief?" And then I'm like, "Yo, but Rafiki." They're like, "Yo, please go Rafiki over there. Not here, not here." But yeah.
Well, congratulations. I was
Thank
very
you.
excited. I think it was last year when the announcement was made. Might have been earlier this year.
Earlier this year.
And earlier this year, and I saw your name, and I was like, "What? I did stand up with this guy in Joburg a few years ago,
Yeah.
and now he is in a Disney production. This is amazing." Now, you are young enough, and I suppose old enough to, I guess, have experienced the original Lion King animations. Were you always a fan of the original films?
Yeah. This is the story. This is my story. This is my Star Wars. I was saying to somebody, I didn't get to
Yeah.
go watch like the Return of the Jedi 21 times when it came out or whatever. But this was my when I went to the cinema. Apartheid had just ended. Pretoria, Stirland. That's Stirland Cinema Complex. Stirland 3. It still remains one of the best theaters I've ever been to because it had this kind of cool circular vibe. And when that sun
Mm.
came up over the Serengeti, forget about the sound. Forget about it. I'll never forget. And I was on a date, and I watched it again a few weeks later in Durban. Same heart. Then VHS came, DVDs. What, yo, collect musicy things, sing-alongs. Forget about it.
It's amazing. So you say you were on a date the first time you watched The Lion King.
Yeah, I was on a
Who
date. I
who
was
cried?
16.
Was it you? Who cried first? Was it you or the date?
I don't remember actually. I don't remember. But it was such one of those visceral, emotional things. You kind of, it's like watching Jurassic Park for the first time in the cinema. You kind of, you feel you were hit by a thing. You kind of just,
Mm,
and it stays with you forever and ever. So
it
I
does,
was
yeah.
lucky enough to have that.
Now, you mentioned that, it's something that stays with you forever. You obviously got very strong memories of The Lion King. You started your career in Cape Town, starting stand-up here. You've worked yourself to become possibly the biggest filmmaker in South Africa. Did you ever think that you'd be leading a voice role in a Disney film?
No, I mean, I didn't think I would not. I never went, I'll never do this. But I just didn't, like you kind of, I think I'm anything is possible type of guy. But then, is everything really possible? Yeah, it's where we tell children to go to sleep sometimes. You go to sleep, it's going to be fine tomorrow. You sort of think it like that, but then it is, anything can really happen, anything can go down. And yeah, when it happened the first time, when I got the script to like read for this thing, I and it was all shrouded in secrecy. It wasn't called this. It was like UKLP. What does UKLP mean? Untitled Lion King Project or something like that. ULKP.
Yes.
And then the character that I was reading for was called Ezekiel. And then as you read, you're like, oh, and it's Disney. And then you're like, wait, is this the Lion King? Whoa, it's a pro. Yeah, but that whole thing, and you kind of figure out that this is what's happening now. It kind of seems too big. You kind of just go, it's too big. I mean, there's so many other names before me, but I'll just do it for fun. I'm going to have fun with this thing. And then they keep on calling you, okay, can you do it again? But give us a little this. And then you do it, and then you forget about it. And then they call again 3 weeks later, please, one more time, if you do it like this, if you do it right. And then eventually I was in Lamu in East Africa on holiday when my agent called to say, I got this thing, and I thought he was pulling a prank. It was 2021 during COVID, that's just after we were allowed to go out. I thought he was making a prank. I cussed him out. It was one of the worst and the bittersweet moments for him. Sweet for me because I got to cuss him out eventually. Finally, yes, I can cuss this guy out. But this is a family show, so we can't say that.
There is a bit of an Easter egg for us in the movie because there's some African languages that came through. Did you have a big role to play in that influence?
Yeah, you could say that. I mean, obviously, right, this movie set in East Africa, you know, Serengeti. Swahili is a big part, Hakuna Matata, but then me coming in, when you're riffing on the, you know, on the mic, things come out, you know? And then I think I managed to, you know, I think Barry kind of was like, yeah, play with it, just see where it goes. He gave a lot of freedom in that regard. And then I also imagined Rafiki as this traveling wise guy, you know, like he's a sort of Pan-African type of guy. He's met Tswana
Yes.
guys, he's met Zulu guys. Yes, he speaks Swahili, but he's met people from different parts, you know, because he takes his time with people. And I think that worked out well. And Barry also wisely decided to not subtitle the languages, because then it's like from multiple viewing times you get to follow, you know, you find out these things, what they mean. I remember when I watched the film for the first time, there were some words in there that I didn't know were real words until later, until I grew up, and then I'd say, you know, you hear it in real life and you're like, oh, that's a real thing, you know? And I think there's a lot of that there's a potential for that in this thing.
Kagiso, thank you so much. It's been great talking to you, and congratulations once again.
Thank you, sir. Have a great weekend, a great Christmas, and lots of luck for the future. Let's meet again soon.
Thank you. Cheers.